Now this, the Federal Reserve today is likely going to announce more money printing. President Obama wants to keep on spending money, and the national debt will definitely keep on rising. We should just ignore it, of course. But the judge won't. He's steaming. Judge Andrew Napolitano. Let me remind you, everyone, he is the author of the new book. It is called Theodore and Woodrow. That is not the full title.
And what page you mentioned?
I'm on page 278. Is that
Everybody's asking.
Is Kirsten Powers in the book?
Yeah, how come I'm not in the book?
Okay. This is what happens.
All right, I want you to...
She's in my heart.
Oh, that matters.
You're so cute. Look, how do you feel about this? We are going to raise taxes, we are going to keep on spending, and we are going to ignore the debt. Now, to me, this goes beyond being an economic question. To me, it's a moral question.
I could
Should
not
we be
agree
doing
with you
this?
more. It absolutely is a moral question. I don't know what the Fed is going to announce today. None of us does. And I don't know what the federal government is going to do with it. But if the Fed is going to create money,
and they do,
and put that money into the accounts of member banks, and those banks are going to use that money to buy bonds, that is the same thing as the Fed sending a wheelbarrow over to the Treasury. And when the Fed does that, and then the president gets that money to spend, it lowers the value of the assets and the cash that we already have. That's your moral argument, and I accept and agree. In fact, I'm a champion of that argument. And the argument is that that is theft, pure and simple. That is the government using chicanery in its ledger books and its own printing press to reduce the value of everything we own, thereby making it look like it is paying its bills.
That's the libertarian argument.
I think that's an Economics 101 argument
It
as well.
is. But there is another moral argument.
Did they not teach that argument at the University of London School of Economics?
Let me introduce Kirsten Powers to the worst fake English accent on Fox television.
Stuart is mocking me again. Where's Philip?
I'm trying to think what the other moral argument was that I was going to try to get here. It is this.
Sorry if I got you away from that.
If you just print up a storm, keep on spending, and run up the debt to astronomical levels, that is immoral because you're placing an intolerable burden on our children and grandchildren.
That is also a moral argument.
That's
you're
pure
spending
moral.
now. Correct. You are spending now and requiring a generation as yet unborn to pay it back.
Yes.
If I may, Theodore and Woodrow. Woodrow Wilson borrowed $100 million to finance World War I. We are still paying interest on that. It has never been paid back. It's been rolled over. That's the way the federal government does its business. It never, ever reduces principal. It may pay the principal back, but it borrows money in order to pay it back. So when Barack Obama does that, he'll say, everybody before me in the 20th century has done it. He's correct. It is no less immoral because others have done it.
I think Kirsten is about to say the same thing that I was going to say, which is Bill Clinton ran up a surplus and paid down the debt and retired debt.
You know, Art Laffer,
who
advised Ronald Reagan, if you ask him who was the best president of the 20th century economically, answer, William Jefferson Clinton.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Well, Kirsten,
How did you know that's what I was thinking?
because you are a Clintonite. I do believe. I think you're a Clintonista, if I may say that. Is that the right word?
That would be correct.
No.
Yes.
So, welcome to the program. You've now been introduced to a debate with an atheist, and now the morality of debt.
Great, I'm having great fun.
Where do you stand on the morality of debt?
It's very rare that I disagree with my dear friend, Judge Napolitano, as you know, because I think he's absolutely right, and it is very concerning, even as you watch the debate that's going on right now, that you're watching this back and forth between the Republicans and the Democrats. Neither wants to put anything really substantive on the table in terms of cuts. Right? Even the Republicans who say we're the party of cuts have just put this general number out, but really don't want to be specific.
Listen, you know I don't defend the Republicans at all. In fact, I have gotten my fingertips burned by attacking them. But let me make another moral argument, if I could. How immoral is it for a government to push through legislation in January and then change it in December when the public, entrepreneurs, business people, ordinary folks need to rely on that? The so-called fiscal cliff is legislation the Republicans endorsed, the Democrats endorsed, the Republicans pushed through, the Democrats voted for, and the president signed. And this is the law of the land that they wanted. And now, 12 months later, they want to change it. Who can rely on a government that willy-nilly, when the wind blows, changes the fundamental laws?
Ladies and